So the different types of hip action, the different directions that you can take your hips. When we do a cha-cha-cha, we take our hips with the stepping foot. So say I'm doing a chassé to this side, we're going side, close, side. What I'll do is I'll push my hip with my stepping foot. So as I've gone out, I've gone hip with that foot. As I close my feet together, my hips come back to centre. As I take my third step, my hip will go with that third step. Okay, so we're going hip, centre, hip. So with our this side foot and hip, centre, hip. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going this side foot and hip, centre, hip. It takes some thinking about. So let's try it on this side. So we're taking this foot out to this side. We're going side. As we do our side step, we push our hip with that side step. Okay, so we're going hip and step at the same time. As we bring our feet together, our hips come back to centre. As we take our third step, we push the hip again. So it goes with that stepping foot. So let's try that one again. So we're going this side goes hip, centre, hip. Okay, I'm going to try that again. So we're going this side leg, we're going hip, centre, hip. So let's try it to this side and then this side. So we're going with this side foot and hip, centre, hip. Okay, and now we're going to try it to this side, hip, centre, hip. Okay, and again, so we're going to the side, hip, centre, hip. Okay, now we're going to take our hips this way and hip, centre, hip. So that's what you would do on a cha-cha-cha chassé. So a little bit faster and hip, centre, hip. Okay, and we're going this side, hip, centre, hip. So the other way we can use our hips is taking them the opposite way. So we're going to push our hips away from our stepping foot. So I'm going to take 4 steps this side. So I'm going to go with this side leg, I'm going to go side, close, okay? So let's try that again, but this time we're going to use our hips. So we're going to go side on this foot, and our hips are going to pop out the opposite side, so it's hip. That might feel a bit weird, but it does get easier the more you do it. We close our feet and push your hips the opposite way. Okay, so we've gone hips this side and hips the other side. As we step out again, we take our hips the opposite way again. And then we close our feet and hips go the opposite way. So our hips are always going side to side. When they've gone one way, they'll go the other way. Okay, so we're going to go side on this foot again. So we're going hip the opposite way, hip the opposite way to the stepping foot, hip and hip. Okay, so we'll try it this side. We're going side on this leg, so we're going hip the opposite way to where you are stepping. So we're closing and our hips pop the opposite way. Take a side step again, hips pop out away from where you're stepping, feet together, hips go the opposite way to the way you've just been. Okay, and again, so we're going side on this side leg, ready, and hip, 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 hip. Okay, so let's try it this way this time. So we're going side on this leg and hip, 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 hip. Okay, now we're going to take it the opposite way. So our hips are going to go the opposite way to the stepping foot again. Hip, 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 hip. Okay, and again we're going to go the opposite side and hip, 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 hip. Then the other way, hip, 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 hip. Okay, so you've got the 2 different directions of hip action. On the cha-cha-cha, you'll find the hips go with the stepping foot, which goes like this, with the stepping foot. foot, and each time it goes hip, centre, hip. So we go push, centre, push. If we take it the opposite way, we go push, centre, push. Okay, now in the salsa or a cha sway, or a merengue, we take our hips the opposite way, or we can do. So we're going side on this leg, and we're pushing your hips against the stepping foot. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and push your hips the opposite way again. Step out on this side leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. So we're going this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and this way. Hips go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck.